people think that doctors are like gods, that we're immune to the negativity in life. And yet, in order for us to train, we actually have to be exposed to a tremendous amount of negativity. And that means that it wasn't a cakewalk for me to become a doctor.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to this episode of the Licensed to Live show. My name is Dr. Jarrett, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed by the healthcare system, please invite them to join us along this journey. Just go to Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere you get your podcasts and subscribe to the Licensed to Live show. While you are there, please rate this episode and give me honest feedback so I make sure I provide you with the most up-to-date information about career and life changes. When I say dissed, I mean disengaged, like, this medicine thing is not what it's cracked up to be. Too much paperwork, too many administrators telling me what to do, or I don't have enough time with my patients. Dissatisfied, like, I just don't feel like I'm living up to my full potential. This career simply isn't fulfilling. Disgruntled, like, being a doctor has taken too much of my life away. I am in debt up to my eyeballs, and I'm upset because my work life is too full and my real life is left barren. Or disenfranchised, like I was when I had my medical license temporarily suspended. This show is not for those physicians and professionals who are happy and fulfilled in their clinical career, who have never had a setback in life. If you are in this category, you should find another podcast to listen to and tell a friend to listen. Today, we will be talking with Dr. Larry Cooper, a physician, an author, and a certified Christian life coach. We will discuss ways in which your faith and awareness can guide you through the perils of your career and life while adding another dimension to your reality. Fire starters, I'm here with Dr. Larry Cooper today, and this is such a pleasure, such a special guest. He has so much to offer, so much to tell, and I wanted to be here and bring this directly to you guys through this episode today. And knowing Dr. Larry Cooper, we may have several episodes with him on it because there's just so much to discuss. So first of all, Dr. Cooper, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Dr. Jarrett. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm glad you're doing these kinds of things. I know you're helping a lot of people because by our conversations, just having a conversation with you, you have helped me. And I appreciate that. Now, your being a physician is even better because I know you're serious. You don't do this because, hey, they just gave you a big contract and, we're going to do this so we can make all this money. It's more about being serious, about do no harm and do the right thing. And I appreciate your continuing to do that. And I want to encourage you to continue to do that.
Thank you very much. That means a lot, and it means a lot coming from you.
Yes, sir.
So, Dr. Cooper, everybody has a story in how they got into medicine and how they began their career. Yeah. You have a pretty unique characteristics and qualities in your story. So I'd like to hear those, and please share those for my listeners.
Right. What I did was I was an orderly. I started out as an orderly because years back, I'm not going to shoot all the way back and give you all the details on that. But years back, I'll say this, I'm 68 years old. But years back when before I went to medical school, I read in Reader's Digest that doctors in England had to work as an orderly before they became doctors. And as I told you, to see if they were serious. And if they worked as orderlies and they stuck with it, then they knew they were serious. And if they were serious, they knew they'd make good doctors. So I did that. and after I did it, I worked for a while. They made me a dialysis technician. And when I became a dialysis technician, you know, I would fix machines while people were on dialysis, which was kind of stressful. I was able to learn it under that stress. And after I did it, it let me know that medicine was what I really need to get into, because I didn't know anything about the dialysis machine, but I learned. And one of the things that happens is that the people I work for in the kidney care is the place I work for, allowed me to go to school while I worked. So I ended up going back to college, Middlesex College, for my pre-med work. And after I did my pre-med, they had a committee that pretty much signed off on me and said, you know, you're good to go. And they sent me with a letter so that I could go to med school. When I could have gone to Cornell, but because they told me that you really need to train where the practice patterns are and learn the practice patterns. So I trained at the University of Mississippi. And I graduated there, did family medicine. And after I did family medicine, I ended up doing OB, delivering babies, you know, doing C-sections, you know, because there was a need. One of the things I have to say is God has guided my life, you know, because he's the one that told me to go to medical school, become an orderly, do all that sort of thing. And because I followed him and stayed humble to him, he's blessed me with my life getting better and better because of it.
That's amazing. Dr. Cooper, that's amazing, because most people don't start off on their journey to medical school to become a physician as being an orderly and being a dialysis technician and getting all of these other experiences that many people have never done or even thought about. They just kind of go off to college and maybe they go to school and then they go off to medical school and begin their career.
Yeah.
That gave you a completely different shape.
Oh, yeah.
It gave you a completely different mindset.
Oh, yeah.
And most of all, you were led from your spirituality and guidance from God.
Yes, very important. I don't think that we take the spirituality serious enough and understand that the real benefit of following God's will is you become successful, not just financially, but in a whole life kind of way. That God doesn't just put money in your pocket. He also looks at the other parts of your life, so that when you add your life together, you end up with a sense of well-being, which is really what it's all about, Dr. Jarrett. I got to tell you, it's all about that well-being. That's what medicine's about. I think that's the ultimate goal of medical care.
It is. It's all about well-being. We want to be well on so many different levels.
Yes.
And as a result of our quest for wellness, so to speak, we go through trials and tribulations all the time. But it's still at the betterment of our fellow mankind.
Yes.
And we, as physicians, particularly try to give of ourselves to continue to help others.
Yes.
And one of the things that my listeners tend to hear and want to know about different stories in people's lives, because there are a lot of people out there hurting, and they kind of suffer in silence in the healthcare field. And I want to know, has there ever been a time in your career that you've been dissed?
I'm glad you asked that.
Oh, no, not another test.
I think sometimes people think that doctors are like gods, that we're immune to the negativity in life. And yet, in order for us to train, we actually have to be exposed to a tremendous amount of negativity. And that means that it wasn't a cakewalk for me to become a doctor. It required, at one time I used to say, well, Carl, why hard work and persistence and all that. And, when you get into that mindset, you can be walking around with a pretty big ego, pretty much saying that, that I've done a whole lot of stuff. And then you lose the source of where that came from. And you lose the understanding that there's a God in heaven who has blessed you so that you can deal with the negativity. Now, I could deal with the medicine if I was operating in a vacuum. But because I'm not operating in a vacuum, I have to deal with a lot of negativity. Mm-hmm. And the only way you can really conquer the negativity is to deal with, in my case, Christianity. First of all, let me tell you that I'm not here to tell people you got to become a Christian and all that. I do want to tell people that you need to have a sense of spirituality one way or another. Now, I say from my case is Christianity. And one of the reasons I wrote the book is because I want to explain to people why I chose Christianity. So, things are happening in my life. One of the things I like about being a Christian is I could go through, Jared, about 20 or 30 things that have happened in my life, that would have been catastrophic had it not been for the Lord. In medical school, one of my attendings told me that I wasn't going to graduate from medical school.
Oh, wow. That's
and we
scary.
Do those, right. We do that 30-day thing, right?
Yeah.
We do what's called rotations.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me at the beginning of the rotation that you're not going to graduate. You're not going through medical school.
Oh, no. Judgment.
She told me she wanted me to write a paper. And so, Dr. J, we did 30 days. She didn't mention that paper again until day 30.
Oh, boy.
And she's walking with me. And she says to me, we're talking, light conversation and all that. And she went, by the way, where's that paper?
Oh.
And this is the Lord working. It says, it's in your office on your desk. Dr. Jerry, there's got to be a God in heaven, because there's no way I would have thought to do that paper had he not said, whatever you do that paper. And because I listened to him, there's praying, that's when you're asking God something. There's meditation. That's when God's talking to you.
Uh-huh.
And if you really listening, you'll hear God tell you what to do. And in my meditation, God say, whatever you do this rotation, do that paper.
Get it done. Get it done. No matter what.
No matter what.
Just get it done.
And because of that, I'm a doctor today. Because the God, the God I serve, deals with positive conclusions. He didn't say no negative is going to happen in your life. Yes. We think about the crucifixion.
Yes.
That there's no resurrection without crucifixion. So he put the crucifixion there. Now, Jesus can have a crucifixion. I can't. I'm just not going to be able to do it. But I knew that based on sinful nature, which we all have, it took a crucifixion to get me straight. And since he did that, then the negativity I deal with is okay,
The Comeback.
Scripture says, all the negativity, I'm not going to give you something you can't help. And that's the deal.
That's beautiful, because what you're telling my listeners now is that your faith helped get you through.
Yes.
It helped to get you through a tough time, a difficult time, perhaps even an insurmountable time.
Oh, yeah.
And your faith is what led you through.
Yes.
And helped make something that could have been catastrophic to your entire career.
Now you're hitting it. Make
it just become Another incident, another story that you can tell others.
Right. Another cross I can tell others about. Because we are given Christ. He gives us crosses.
Yes.
But he doesn't give you anything too heavy. He gives you something you can handle. That's his promise. Now, what I like about it, Dr. Jed, I like to, the ego in me wants to say that it's my good idea, but no, this is scripture. If you just read the scripture, that's what he said. His promises, he keeps all his promises, by the way.
Yes.
He doesn't give us what we deserve. He overpays us, and if you understand that, then you know that you need to make that contract with the Lord up front.
That's right.
And make the contract with him and learn to deliver instead of market. Because a lot of people, Dr. Jared, today, they're marketing instead of delivering. If you work for him, he said, focus on the delivery and I'll take care of everything else. And so that's what I'm about today. I'm delivering. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you.
Licensed to live.
So Dr. Cooper,
yeah,
one of the things that you talk about that I think is worth everyone hearing is different levels of awareness in people's life. I mean, because clearly going throughout your medical career and the way you started as an orderly and a tech and moving forward and going on to achieve great things.
Yes.
You still have your ups and downs.
Oh, yeah.
But tell me about the different levels of awareness and how that has really shaped your life.
Right. There are 4 levels of general awareness that we deal with. The lowest level is delta, which is total unconsciousness. That's when you're really knocked out. That's actually when your body is really healing, because the God takes over and starts doing all that work that needs to be done that he can't do while you're awake. Mm-hmm. Now we go to theta. Now theta is a level of hypnosis. This is a level where the Easterners have a better understanding of it than we do. We deal in terms of a dream state, but we don't deal in terms of where God puts us in a position where even though we're not awake doing anything, we can still receive healing. And there was a psychologist / pharmacist in France who had something called, his name was Emile Coué, C-O-U-E, who talked about how auto-suggestion, and we call it today self-talk.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk to ourselves all the time.
Yes, we do.
But the auto-suggestion that we talk about a lot of times is negative. And we don't understand the profound effect that auto-suggestion has upon us. Because auto-suggestion is actually more powerful than our cognitive understanding. Auto-suggestion can add a but to something that we say cognitively that makes sense. And people do it unconsciously all the time. I'm successful, and I'm making a lot of money and all that. And then the auto-suggestion kicks in. But I'm not really happy. Now, the auto-suggestion is down in theta. That's where we've been fed a lot of stuff that allows us to depend more on external gratification than internal gratification. Understand that there are people out here that know about theta. They know that when you're in theta, they can make it so that you're not happy unless you're out here trying to achieve or trying to get something out here that requires a lot of hard work and persistence.
So we're not happy at the core, our inner selves.
Exactly.
And we are looking for external validation.
Yes.
To really validate the way we act. And if we're not getting that external validation, then we're not happy.
Right. And we cancel it out. I'm making a big salary. Then you put a but on it. But I'm still not happy. And what happens is somebody has come in and caught you at theta and put that in. that people know how to do it now. You know, it's just a reality. They influence your theta so that even though consciously you're thinking that everything's okay, but here's the thing, this is the reality of it. If it comes down to your, I'll say beta, it's beta. Beta, okay, let me tell about the others. Theta is hypnotic level. Alpha is when you're in the zone, when you're doing it, you're getting it done. You know, a lot of times people in sports know about it.
Yes.
You're in that zone. You know what's happening and all that.
Nobody can stop you.
Nobody can stop you. That it happens in everyday life, but people don't really experience it as being in the zone. They enjoy it, but they don't have a name for it. Because they don't have a name for it, a lot of times they don't get into it a lot because they don't see it as how valuable it really is. But if you're in the zone, you're at a point where everything's good. Beta is when you're wide awake. When you are so awake that you don't understand that. Well, put it like this. I think I skipped one in my book. I don't know if I put it here. There's a need to relax, to wake up and relax. There's a chapter called Wake Up and Relax.
All right.
Let me tell you about stage hypnosis. What usually happens when you watch stage hypnosis, you have the guy put somebody together. You know, they pick people who are easy to hypnotize. And when they go limp and close their eyes, they hypnotize them. But they always tell them this, and when you wake up, you will be fully awake and you will feel refreshed and all that. Well, the thing about being fully awake is you're hyperactive. You know, you look at everything. They have turned you all the way back up to top speed.
Yes.
And when you come back to top speed, you're out here and you skip through alpha. Now, my recommendation is when you wake up in the morning, wake up and relax. That'll put you in the alpha.
Okay.
Wake up and relax. Actually, whenever you get ready to do something, wake up and relax. You'll go into the zone. It's a way into the zone. Now you gotta be with the Lord. Now, from my point, you gotta be with the Lord because a lot of people don't want you to do that. You know, it's gonna take the Lord to allow you to wake up and relax. That's my take on it.
And if you wake up, you feel relaxed, you'll be able to achieve.
That's
and
right.
you'll be able to do better things for more people.
Right.
Now, a lot of people, Dr. Cooper, don't think that they can, they're subject to hypnosis. Now, we talk about stage hypnosis, and there's a lot of people, and you say, go up and cluck like a chicken and fall asleep, and they fall asleep.
Yeah.
But there's different types of hypnosis.
Right.
So tell me about that.
Okay, let's talk about a job. When you sign a contract, you're turning over control of your behaviors to someone for a price. So it shouldn't be, can you be hypnotized? The answer is no. Can it be hypnotized? Depends on the numbers.
It depends on the numbers. There
when
you go.
do 20% bonus, my eyes close and I go limp.
You go to sleep and do whatever. So fire starters, listen to this. Yeah. So we talk about hypnosis in a number of different ways and people who are unhappy in themselves and within themselves. And if you have signed a contract and maybe you signed it because, well, the numbers may have looked right to you and you'll just do what they say. Whatever those administrators or those office managers or so on and so forth may be telling you what to do, and you just march off and do it. And it is a reflexive kind of thing, but you're not happy. And if you're not happy, then you're not doing the right thing. And so you have to look at hypnosis and look at it as a general theme and not just cluck like a chicken or fall asleep.
You give control. You give somebody control of your behavior. And if you don't watch it, you give them control of your thinking.
It's that simple. You're giving it away.
Yeah.
You're giving it away. And this is what time and time again I've helped people with. Dr. Cooper is really breaking it down for us today. And I'm just going to give you a lead into our next episode, because we're going to go through his book in some detail because he has a lot of great things for you guys to hear. But, we'll get back to our different levels of awareness right now. And I want you to just wrap up for us, Dr.
I'm just going to wrap it up. I go back to neurasthenia. Neurasthenia is being in beta all the time. Beta is hyperactive. Beta is quicksand.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
I'm working like everything and I'm still not getting it done.
Oh, boy.
I'm not getting where I want to be, and I'm depressed, but I'm not calling it depression because I'm a straight up dude. I'm mad, you know, but not understanding that anger is part of depression. It's a manifestation of the depression. And once you get to a point where you understand, and you need to stay out of beta, and if you stay out of beta, stay in alpha, your life, that's humility to God. Alpha means you become humble to God and you're letting him run your life. And even when you do contracts and all that, the final say-so lies with him. Because he's the one that pays. He pays the best. He's the only one that overpay you. Let's put it like that.
That's right.
Grace and mercy is not a freebie. It's a great contract. God, do your neighbor right. Forgive your enemy. Give me praise and thanksgiving. And I'll overpay you. That's grace and mercy. You do something wrong, I'll take care of it. Christ died on the cross for that.
Wow. What else can you say with that?
And Dr. Jared, I say this be sure, wake up and relax.
If that's the thing I'm going to do, I tell you what, tomorrow morning, when I wake up, I'm going to be relaxed. And I know I'll achieve. And I get in that zone and I'll be able to do much better things.
That's right.
Because I'm living on an entirely different level than I normally would have.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Dr. Cooper, thanks again for being on the show today.
Thank you again, Dr. Jared.
All right.
And keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, disengaged, dissatisfied, disgruntled, or disenfranchised with healthcare, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast distributor and subscribe to the Licensed to Live show. While you're there, please rate this episode and give me honest feedback so I can make sure I provide you with the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. See you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jared's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.